All right, here we go. It goes like this. Forget what you say, watch what you do. For some of us, that might also sound like actions speak louder than words. Raise your hand or nod at the camera if you know what I'm talking about. Well, when I think about those two sayings, forget what you say, watch what you do, or I think about actions speak louder than words, I'm thinking about leaders. And when I think about leaders, I think about mentors. Now today I'm going to bring up two of the greatest mentors in my life that have been there for me, especially during my teenage years into my young adult years. And those two mentors have been there, and the reason why I consider them to be mentors is for number one, they had the experience that not all people can speak to. So the thing about it is we all have different needs, different goals, different dreams. And whenever we're looking for people that can actually even relate to us, sometimes we have to go to the people who've been through it. We have to go to the people that have the experience of what you might be having. I mean, here's the reality of it. How can we go to a doctor, for example, to work on my heart if all they've ever worked on is feet? I mean, theoretically they might know what we're talking about, but in practice, might not be the same. So when I think about mentors, because there's great mentors and there's great teachers and there's great coaches out there, but to me what makes someone a great mentor is not only do they have the knowledge, not only do they have the experience, but they have the patience, they have the understanding. And then I think for me, one of the biggest things about being a mentor is that they're non-judgmental. Because how many times do we go to people for advice and we ask them what we think, and maybe we know they've been through it. And not only will they give you the advice and share their knowledge, but then they might lecture you, or they might kind of scold you or make you feel bad for what you did. Now, for me, that wasn't mentorship. To me, mentorship, especially when I was young, not having any older brothers or older sisters growing up, I had cousins and friends. So the first mentor that I want to bring up today is a really good friend of mine. He goes by the name of Menwinn Morales. Now, I used to call him the mentor when I was young, and here's why. He's one of the greatest mentors in my life because when I was in my teenage years, 13 or 14 years old, living in Fairfield or in Cordelia, California, I had no older brothers, and I remember he was the kid up the block that, or not the kid, but he was an older teenager up the block that would always invite me over to come hang out. We used to do things like lift weights in his garage. We used to go to Scandia together. And one specific memory that I have with Menwinn was one summer he took me to the Solano County Fair in Vallejo, and I didn't have any money. I didn't really have any friends, and he said, come along, come hang out with me. So I got to meet all of his other friends, and he had my back the whole day. I mean, he took care of my food. He gave me one of those bracelets, it's for the unlimited rides. And he always checked in on me. And I was the youngest out of the whole crew, out of the whole bunch. But he made sure that nobody messed with me. He made sure that nobody was taking advantage of me or, punking on me. It was like what we would say back in the days. And he always had my back. And one thing I loved about Menwinn, and I still do, is that I made my mistakes. I messed up. And even though I messed up, he didn't talk bad to me. He didn't talk down to me. He didn't make me feel bad. But there were times where, he would give me that look like he was sad or maybe even a little disappointed, but he never said anything or did anything that made me feel that way. He never put me down. And so it was that type of example and that kind of leadership and that kind of mentorship to me that really taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about life. And that's one thing I always respect about Menwinn, is that no matter what he's going through in life, no matter what struggles he's going through, whether at work or at home or whatever's going on, is that he'll never take that out on you. And he would always take things with stride and always try to find the positive in all the situations. I mean, he's the type of guy who will read these books like The Art of War and Zen and bring that to you and relate that to you in your life. And so I've always admired and respected Menwinn for always just treating me like the brother that I never had. And so Menwinn is definitely one of my greatest mentors, even till this day. A lot of his teachings, matter of fact, Barbell Junkies is it was a garage gym, and it was crazy because I used to think about how he taught me how to lift weights in his garage, And here I was 20 years later, teaching out of my garage young people how to do Olympic weightlifting and how to teach them how to be strong in mind, body, and spirit. One thing Menwinn used to always say, or that he still says today, is we train strong to be strong. And another one of his quotes that I remember, not even a quote, but one of the breakdowns he gave to me was, "You out of here? Yeah. All right, man. Good luck to you, brother." All right, my neighbor. So one thing that Menwinn always taught me, or one thing he shared with me back in the days, was the idea that knowledge is not power. Everyone say, what? Yeah, knowledge is not power. But what he said was, it's the application of knowledge that's power. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't use it, it's no good, it's useless. So that was something that always stuck with me, along with the many other life teachings and life lessons that Menwinn had for me. But the second greatest mentor in my life is a person that goes by, to me anyways, the name of Kuya Mark Senores, or some of you know him as Bong. Now, Kuya in the Filipino language means older brother, and he was exactly that to me and to a lot of other people that I know. But Kuya Mark specifically I consider him to be my mentor, especially in my young adult years. For those of you who may or may not know, I was kicked out of the house when I was 18 years old. I made some choices that my parents didn't agree with, and so I left. And when I left, I was staying at my friends' houses, a couple days here, a couple days there. And after a few months, my cousin noticed that, and he didn't like that. It's not that he didn't like who I was with, because, he loves Marv, and he loves Will, and he loves my friends that have my back, and he knew that they had my back. But he just didn't like me going from house to house, living out of a duffel bag. I would even stay at his house sometimes. So one day he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, cuz," and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Live with me." I'm like, "Huh? Live with you?" He's like, "Yeah, live with me." I'm like, "For how long?" He's like, "For as long as you need to." And I'm like, "For reals?" He goes, "Yeah, I want you to live with me. You don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay for groceries. All you have to do is just be productive, whether you're going to school or whether you're working. I just don't want to see you going from house to house. I know Marv and I know Will, I know they got your back. Those are your homies and I love them for that. But I just want you to be with me until you can get on your own feet, until you can handle your business and be the man who I know you are, who I know you could be." So I ended up living with my Kuya Mark for a couple years. And in those couple years, I was with him every day, just watching him be a husband, watching him be a father, watching him just be a grinder for all that he did. And it was that example to me that taught me a lot about not only the type of husband I wanted to be or the type of father I wanted to be, but more importantly, the type of big brother I wanted to be. And so both Menwinn and Kuya Mark have been there for me and showed me what being a big brother should be like. They showed me what being a mentor should be like. My Kuya Mark, we've been through thick and thin. There's so many more things that I can say about both of them, but if it wasn't for these two mentors in my life that were leading by example, that modeled the behavior that I do my best to show, I don't know where I would be today. I really don't. I don't know if I'd be doing this. I don't know if I'd be talking to this camera again, sharing this experience or sharing this message with you. But I'm grateful and I'm blessed, and I thank God every day that God put them both in my life the way that He did. I'm thankful that they had my back and they loved me unconditionally like their little brother. And for that, I just try to do my best to pay it forward. So if you do have a mentor in your life that has been through maybe some of the same experiences you, that has the knowledge, but most importantly has the patience, has the understanding, and doesn't judge you and will love you unconditionally, thank them. Give them a hug, tell them you love them, tell them you appreciate them. Because I know if it wasn't for those two mentors in my life, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So with that being said, your boy is out. Number 3 vlog is done. Remember, I'm gonna say it again, join the tribe and click subscribe. Thank you for following me. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Your boy is out. Peace.